Good morning. In this video, we will be learning about machine learning and how to implement machine learning algorithm using MATLAB. So to start with, we will see what is machine learning. So as we see here, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. We define machine learning as the learning of a machine to complete certain tasks without being explicitly programmed to do so. Means we are not programming the machine, but the machine learns how to complete a certain task based on the data input that you give to the machine. So that is the definition of machine learning, and it is a subset of artificial intelligence. And again, as we see here, a subset of machine learning is deep learning, in which the tasks are broken down and distributed into machine learning algorithms that are organized in consecutive layers. So in this session we will be learning about machine learning. So again, if you see here, machine learning is something where the machine learns from the data, it predicts based on the data, and then it improves the performance based on the various feedback parameters. So this is the definition of machine learning. So next we will see the types of machine learning. So basically machine learning can be divided into supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning is where the machine learns with some supervision. Means we give the data that we give for the machine to learn will have the input as well as the response. So based on that data, the machine will learn. So that is called as supervised learning. Unsupervised learning is where the machine learns just based on the input data. We do not know what is the response, or that is not given as input to the machine, but just based on the data input that is given to the machine tries to understand and it learns based on that data. So that is unsupervised learning. Again, in supervised learning, you can classify it into classification task and regression task. And unsupervised learning, we have got clustering. So in this session, mainly we will be concentrating on classification of data. So we will see what is classification. So classification is grouping the data together based on some predetermined characteristics. Okay, for example, you can see here when you have got a mixture of data like this, the classification algorithm classifies it into different groups. Same thing you can see here. The data is divided into class A and class B group. This classification is done by the classification algorithm. It is just grouping the data together based on the similarities that is there in the data, or based on some predetermined characteristics of the data. So there are different classification algorithms. So some commonly used classification algorithms are decision trees, k-nearest neighbor, and support vector machine. In this course, we will be using this k-nearest neighbor algorithm for the classification task that we will be performing. So in any classification task, when you have to perform, these are the sequence of steps that need to be followed, or this is the workflow. So the first step that we need to follow is importing the data. Whatever is the data that is available to us, that needs to be imported, or we need to read that data. And once we read that data, we need to pre-process that data according to our requirement. Okay, means the data may not be directly usable for by us, so we need to do some pre-processing of that data so that it becomes more meaningful and usable. Then the third step that we will follow is extract features from the data. What we have in the previous step is a raw data. The use of raw data may not exactly give us the desired results. So we try to extract some features from the raw data that will be useful for us in our classification model. So the third step is extracting the features. Then the fourth step is building the model. This is the model which is going to perform the classification task. So we build the model. That is the fourth step. And then the last and the final step is evaluation of the model. We evaluate how is the performance of the model that we have built in step 4. So these are the steps that we will be following in building a model for classification. So now here we take a specific example to understand this task of classification. The example that we are considering here is identification of handwritten letters. Okay, so when you have handwritten letters, okay, when you feed the handwritten letters as input to the algorithm should be able to identify which letter is that. So that is the example that we will be performing here. So there are 3 letters that are considered here. We have got letter J, M and V. Okay, the data for corresponding to these letters is stored in the text file. So we will see the details of this text file which contains the data. So the input data is collected based on the letters that are written on a tab like this. Okay, so the input data that we are collecting are the time stamp in milliseconds, means what is the current time. Okay, that is the time stamp. Okay, and that time is noted in milliseconds. Then the horizontal and vertical location of the pen. Okay, as we use this pen to write the letters, so at any given instant of time, what is the x-axis and the y-axis location of the pen? That is what I mean by horizontal and vertical location of the pen. So these two data, they are normalized to values between 0 and 1. We do not have the actual scaled values. We have got the normalized values, normalized between 0 and 1. Then the fourth input that we are going to use is the pressure of the pen, means how much pressure we apply to write these letters. So these are the input data which is now available for us. So when we feed this input data to the machine learning algorithm, so this machine learning algorithm should be able to predict what is the handwritten character. Okay, so we will see how to implement this particular task in MATLAB. So first step, as I told you, is importing data. Okay, so to import data, I told you the data is available in the form of a text file. The name of the text file is, we have got j.txt, for which contains the data regarding the handwritten letter J. Then we have got m.text and v.text. Okay, so we are considering only 3 letters here to start with. So right now what I am loading here is the letter J dot text. Okay, so once you read this particular data, I am assigning that data to this particular uh, variable name letter. Okay, so I am assigning it to I am assigning it to the variable name letter. Okay, so this variable contains the data which is there in our input file. Okay, so this data you have shown, you can see here, I have shown it in the form of a table. So you can see it has got the first column of the data is your time, the second column is your X position, and the third column is the Y position of the pen, and the last column is the pressure that is applied. As you can see, okay, this time is in milliseconds. X and Y values are normalized values which are normalized between 0 and 1. So this is about your input data. So we have got 41 rows and 4 columns, means I have got 4 input variables. Those are the 4 columns, and I have got 41 such data for one single letter J. Now I will make a plot of this X position and this Y position of the letter to visualize the letter J. So to do that, what I do here is we have got, okay, to do that, we have got here, to access a particular column in this particular table, we will use the name of the table dot the variable name. Okay, so if I want to access the second column, the name of that column or the name of that particular attribute is X. So I will access it as letter dot X. If I want to access this Y position, I will access it as letter dot Y. Okay, so this is how you access the different columns of this particular data. Okay, you can refer to this first column as letter dot time, okay, or letter dot P. Now I want to make a plot of the X position and the Y position of the pen. So I am using the plot command. So I can say plot letter dot X comma letter dot Y. So you can see this is the plot that we obtain. Now if you look at this particular plot, it doesn't look, the similarity of this particular letter to the alphabet J is little less. The reason is the scaling is not proper. Okay, there is no, the scaling is not uniform, no, between your x-axis and y-axis. So the aspect ratio of the letter is distorted. Okay, so to make it proper, we use one more command, axis equal. Okay, so this will set the axis aspect ratio, okay, to the correct value. So you can see this is the plot that we have before doing the correction. This is the second plot, is the one that we obtain after correcting the aspect ratio. So this is the plot of X data versus Y data. Okay, means the X position of the pen and the Y position of the pen. So you can see the letter J clearly. So this is how we have imported the data. So next step is pre-processing the data. Okay, so we will see how to pre-process this particular data. So there are, what pre-processing this, okay, particular data requires. Okay, there are two pre-processing that we will be doing. So the first pre-processing, okay, that we need to do is we will be correcting the distance units. Okay, what correction we need here is, okay, the tab that we use for writing these letters, okay, is not a square tab, it is a rectangular tab. Means, okay, the horizontal length of the tab is no more than the vertical length of the tab, okay, when you keep it in the landscape position. So now because of that, okay, but what we have done is we have normalized both the X position and Y position with no, in the range 0 to 1. So that will give us, okay, some error because of the dimensions of the tab that we have used to record the data. So what we do here is based on the dimensions of the tab. Okay, if you see here, the dimensions are, the vertical distance is 10 inches and the horizontal distance is 15 inches. Okay, so the horizontal distance is 1.5 times the vertical distance. So we will correct the horizontal axis data in the range 0 to 1.5. Right now it is in the range 0 to 1. So we need to correct it and make, make the range as 0 to 1.5. So that is the first pre-processing of the data that we will be performing. Okay, correcting the distance units. So to do that, okay, we will see, okay, this is the code that we will be writing. So here I am reading the letter M, okay, because we have got 3 text files. So I am reading the text file corresponding to the letter M as m.text. Then I am multiplying letter dot X, that is the X position of the pen, by 1.5. So when you multiply it by 1.5, automatically the range of your X will change to 0 to 1.5. Okay, and then I'm making a plot of letter dot X comma letter dot Y, and I'm correcting the aspect ratio. So you can see here this figure shows, first figure is without, okay, doing the correction in the distance units. The second uh, figure shows after the correction that we have made. Okay, so the X range is increased from 0 to 1.5. Okay, so this is the first pre-processing of data that we need to perform. Next, another processing that we need to do before we can start using the data is to normalize the time. Okay, now the input data has got the time no in milliseconds. That time just tells us the time that is elapsed from the start of the data collection session. Okay, it is just a continuous recording of time which tells us at this time this is the position of the pen. Okay, now making any interpretations, okay, based on that time is not going to help us. So what we will do is, to make it more useful for us, we would no use the duration, okay, or the time since the beginning of each letter. Okay, means when I just start writing a particular letter, I will take the time instant as 0, and from that time, okay, for every time instant, okay, what will be the x and y axis position, I will try to no use that value. That data would be more useful for me in no doing this classification task. So to do that, what I should do is, this is the starting position. Okay, if you can see, this particular no recording starts from the time 1.37, okay, into 10 power no 4, because this data is in milliseconds. Okay, so it is 13.7 it is okay 1.37 into 10 power 4 milliseconds. So now this, instead of starting from this particular time value, I want to make it start from 0. Okay, so what I should do to do that is, whatever is your no x-axis, the time value, I need to subtract it, this 1.37 into 10 power 4 from every time variable, every value in that time attribute. So that is what I am doing here. You can see letter dot time will be equal to letter dot time minus letter dot time of 1. Okay, this is okay because letter dot time has got an array of values. Letter dot time of 1 will tell you the initial time, okay, or the time at instant 1. Okay, the at index 1, that will be the initial value of time, that will be 1.37 into 10 power 4 in this case. So we are subtracting this letter dot time of 1 from every time value in that particular table. So when you do that, okay, again one more thing that I do is, okay, the time is in milliseconds, so I am dividing it by 1000. Okay, so to get the correct value, so now you can see in this second graph, the time instant is starting from 0. So I have got the graph as, okay, at time instant 0, what is the vertical position, at instant 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Okay, you can see the vertical distance at each instant of time starting from the instant 0. Okay, so this is the second pre-processing that we will be performing for the data. First one is we did the correction of distance units, and the second pre-processing is normalizing the note times to make it start from 0. Now we are done with the pre-processing of data. So the next step that we will be performing is extracting the features. Okay, now as I told you already, whatever is the raw data that is available to us, that may not be directly useful for us in doing the classification. We need to find some features, okay, some special features in the data that will help us to do the classification. So in this case, okay, the special features, okay, what you can identify is, we have got 3 letters J, M and V. Okay, so if you look at the letter J and the letter M, okay, you can clearly, okay, find the difference in the aspect ratio of the letter. Okay, means the height of the letter to the width of the letter. If you make a comparison for the letter J and for the letter M, we can clearly see the difference. Okay, because M is, no, the width of the letter M is more and the width of the letter J is less. Okay, so that is one feature which can help me to classify, or which can help me to predict whether the given data is for the letter M or for the letter J. So one feature that I will be extracting is the aspect ratio, that is the height of the letter relative to the width of the letter. Okay, so that is one feature that you can extract that may be useful for us in doing this classification task. Then again, another feature is when you compare, okay, the time that you take to write the letter J and the letter M, okay, and the letter V. Okay, what we can, okay, what we can see is the time taken to write the letter V is going to be less than the time that you take to write the letters J and M. Okay, so that is going to be again another feature that is going to help us in the classification. Okay, so I will take the duration of time, okay, the time that is taken to write the letter. Okay, so based on that I can also, okay, I can decide whether the letter is a V or whether it is a J or a M. So these are the two features which may be useful for me for performing this task of classification. Okay, so first no, we will see how to extract these two features, okay, to get the duration of time. Okay, it is no simple yeah, straightforward task for us. The no, we have got the time attribute. We can access the time attribute as letter dot time. Okay, because time is the name of the no variable, letter is the name of the table. So letter dot time will give you the time attribute. I am using the index as end, which will give me the last value in that particular array. Okay, so that I'm assigning it to the variable duration. Okay, dur is the name of the variable. So this duration, okay, dur will tell me how much time is taken for writing that particular letter. Okay, so that is the first feature that I am extracting. Okay, the time feature. Then next, the second feature that I'm extracting is the aspect ratio. So I am getting this aspect ratio as the range of, okay, y position divided by the range of x position. Now this range function will give you the difference between maximum value and minimum value. Okay, range is defined as maximum value minus minimum value. Okay, so I will check in the y position of the pen what is the range, okay, what is the maximum minus minimum value. Similarly, in the x position of the pen, what is the value of range. Okay, so the ratio of range of y position divided by range of x position will give me the aspect ratio. Okay, so that ratio, okay, that is the second feature that I am extracting from the raw data that is available to us. Okay, so we will use these two data in our further classification task. Okay, so yeah, before we proceed for the no classification task, we will, okay, try to understand the data. Okay, we will try to visualize how the data looks. Okay, so for that after extracting the features, okay, the data is available in this particular, okay, mat file feature data. Okay, this is already, okay, recorded and it is available for our use. Okay, so this feature data.mat contains, okay, 470 entries. You can see here this, now I have shown the snapshot of the table. It has got 470 entries with 3 columns. Okay, the 3 columns are, first column is the aspect ratio, second column is the duration, and the third column is the character corresponding to this particular aspect ratio and duration. Okay, now how to extract this aspect ratio and duration we have seen already. Okay, so following similar procedure, it has been done for different, okay, letters written by different people. Okay, so that is why you can see the variation in data. Okay, so every character, it is written by multiple no number of people. So no, when different people write, okay, there will be a variation in the way each person writes. Okay, so for every such entry, the aspect ratio and the duration is calculated. Okay, and that particular data is available in this feature data.mat. Okay, so you can see that displayed here. Now I will make a plot of this particular, okay, data to see how it is scattered. Okay, so for that I will make a scatter plot of this data. So I am plotting the aspect ratio versus duration. Okay, so to access this particular, okay, data in the table, to access a particular column in this particular table, you will use the name of the table dot the attribute name. Okay, so the name of the table is features, so we will use it as features dot aspect ratio. Similarly, features dot duration. Okay, third column you will access it as features dot character. Okay, so right now I'm making a scatter plot of aspect ratio versus duration. So I will say scatter features dot aspect ratio, comma, features dot duration. Okay, so you can see this particular scatter plot. Okay, now this scatter plot, okay, just tells me the distribution of the various data points, but it doesn't, okay, give me a clear idea of, okay, which data point is corresponding to which character. Okay, so that particular information is not available here. So I go for a different kind of plot that is called as G scatter. Okay, so what this particular plot will do is it takes three parameters as inputs: features dot aspect ratio, that is your x-axis; features dot duration, that is your y-axis; and the third input that goes to this particular function is features dot character, that is the third row in your table. So based on this third input, it will assign colors to the data points. Okay, so you can see here the data corresponding to the letter J has been assigned this red color. The data corresponding to the letter M is assigned the green color, and the data corresponding to the letter V is assigned the assigned blue colors. Okay, so you can see how the data is distributed in this particular plot. Okay, aspect ratio versus duration. When you make a plot, okay, it shows the distribution of data. So if you can see here, we can see, okay, clear there is a demarcation. Okay, you can see all letter V data lying here. Okay, and then we see the M data. Okay, the green color of occupies no particular region in the plot, and then the red, okay, again occupies a different region in the plot. Okay, so this is just to visualize the data that is available to us. Now we will move on to the next step. We will build a model. Okay, so we will see how to build a model. So to build a model, okay, we will be, okay, partitioning the space into means the space of the predictor variables, that is your aspect ratio and duration, into regions. Okay, and each region is assigned one of the output classes. Okay, so here you can see how the regions are marked. Okay, this is, okay, just arbitrarily marked. This is for your letter J. Then you have got this for your letter yeah, this is your letter M. This is your letter V, and this is your letter J. Okay, so different, yeah, based on what classifier we are using, okay, this particular partitioning of the space will be different. Okay, it depends on the type of classifier that we are using. Okay, so yeah, in this video we will stop with this particular at this particular point. In the next video we will continue with how to build a model. Okay, and then how to evaluate that particular model. Okay, so that part we will be continuing with in the next video. Okay, thank you.